Hi guys, welcome to our channel, Family for Fun Vlog. If you haven't subscribed yet, please like and subscribe.
Okay, well, it is August 9th, and we thought we'd give you a quick update on how things are going. We're still in the designing phase with the architect, so we've been going back and forth since the last update with the architect. We are getting moving things around. So we would move like the parking area a little bit. We would move I guess the floor plans a little bit. And we've been just refining the process. Basically, we're being really careful to make sure that we are getting pretty much exactly what we want. And so the architect's been giving us a couple of different things. Like a PDF is one thing he is giving us with like still pictures of the house and the property, with some floor plans in there with measurements on them, and even some great 3D animated walkthroughs,
yep.
Which have been really cool. Yeah, if you get an architect that can't give you 3D fly-throughs or walk-arounds, oh, you got to get one. So yeah, we're enjoying those things and just going back and forth, and we're just being really meticulous, like I said, to make sure we get what we want. One of the cool things that the architect was doing was giving us a breakdown of cost. So in the Philippines and in I guess even in different regions of the Philippines they have a different range of costs per square meter. So there's always a cost per square meter, which is like the kind of least expensive possible one that you would accept. And then there's like a high end of that range, and you kind of choose where you land inside of that. And we're keeping ours towards the higher end of that, just to be safe. We don't want to make it, well, first of all, we don't think it would look that great if you have everything at the super low end. But we're keeping it high for another reason, which is when the true detailed budget comes in, we don't want it to be higher than what we've been seeing. So we think we're seeing costs that are higher, and the architect has assured us that if we do estimate at this time at the high end, just roughly on cost per square meter for different areas, that he'll be able to adjust that cost later on when we're actually doing the final design. So
yeah, and he keeps telling us that, oh, don't worry about the cost because it's not detailed yet. Once we're going through the detailed design, and then we will know how much exactly the cost of the building. So yeah, so we've been kind of like going back and forth with our house of our sizes of our house, and we don't really know like if we want to have a bigger size or a smaller size, and yeah, so it's like a back and forth basically, to be able to decrease the cost for the house building.
Yeah, in just studying for how to work with an architect before, I saw someone say the easiest thing to do is just cut down the square meters. I was going to say square footage. The square meters of the house, then you immediately, you're always multiplying by cost per square meter. So the easiest thing to do is just make your living room a little less grand, or cut out one room or something. That's just instant savings, and you can't deny that you're going to have savings there. But we were kind of shooting for the biggest thing that we could afford. And then when you're going around the property saying, okay, this is a deck kind of area, what's the cost? What's the realistic cost per square meter? Because it's not the same as your house cost per square meter when you have walls and lights and windows and all that. So we've been trying to kind of tinker with it to get it as detailed as we could without going into this detailed estimation phase, which requires a detailed drawing.
Yeah, we kind of like want to know right now how much the cost, even though we know and understand that's not detailed yet, but then we just want to know so we have an idea how much will be, so especially when you have like third floor, and it's like 371 square meters house, not including the swimming pool and lanai and parking area and all of that stuff, in landscaping. of course you're like, oh, okay, we gotta, have to watch for our budget.
And I think that's a really big thing for us too, because we learned from the renovation that we did
In Hawaii.
It was just, we were like, that looks cool, let's do that. And hey, that would look great if you put this expensive material everywhere.
Exactly.
And then we already made that mistake, and it's just such a heavy weight to carry to pay that off. It's just after a year or two of that, you're like, wow, maybe we should have just dialed in the budget a little bit
at
more.
At the end, you were like, oh my, that's pretty expensive and higher than we thought. We could have just thought like, oh, we should have just decreased the material that we were using for our renovation. Cheaper, a lot cheaper.
So it's kind of funny. One of the things I wanted to say was that in this process, we felt a little bit embarrassed because we would say, architect, change this. We don't like this. It's really unattractive. So then they would come back in a week or something and they'd say, okay, how's it look? And we're like, you know what? It actually looked better the other way.
Yes.
So we're sort of, oops, embarrassed a little bit. Let's go back.
We kept telling him, oh, we are really sorry about that. We want this kind of roof, or we want a like a partial covered roof, or now we are actually thinking we want to have like the whole entire area like covered roof. It's because we can put like a solar panel.
Yeah, like a deck with covered. And so we went through different.
Yeah, and also, according to the architect, that he was telling us that, oh, it's better when it's like the whole entire rooftop, it's covered because it's protection from the sun and like the heat, and the tiles won't get like a crack, and from the rain too, it's like when you have a lot of like a heavy rain, unlike here, we don't get that much of rain, but in Philippines, we got tons of rain every year. So that's what we are considering right now, that we have to put it back again.
Yeah, that is a good point, that we didn't want to push too hard on the architect to do a certain thing that we thought was the right thing to do. Like, oh, we want some open space on the deck, not just totally covered area with a pergola. And then he would say, yeah, well, you have to make sure, think about this, consider this. If we push really hard to say, this looks unattractive, we want to make it look this way, we were afraid that he would say, well, I'm just keeping the client happy. And then you end up doing something that architecturally or design-wise is really non-standard.
Exactly.
So in all these things, we said, well, what do you think? What would you do if it was your house? We even used that term with him. If it was your house, what would you do? Which is a good way of eliciting his response without feeling pressure to make the client happy. So we're kind of trying to be careful there.
Yeah, kind of like hear his ideas, and then, oh, what do you think? If this is your house, what would you do?
Are there any problems that would come out of this if we changed it this way? And he did convince us a few times.
Yep.
But actually, the way that we did it, we really, by using this kind of a gentle kind of push and pull approach, we did really refine. We are very, very close right now.
Yep.
When we look at it, recently we got some updated floor plans, and we're like, yep. Every time you go through, instead of saying this is strange, we go, this is great.
We are getting closer to our finalized our design, and right now we're just like confirming all the sizes if it's correct, and and then we can just approve the design, and then they are going next to engineering drawing.
Yeah. What we're doing now before we send it off to this more advanced drawing stage is. In our renovation, going back to that, how many lessons we learned doing that, was that even these professional people can make a mistake. Like for example, we sent our the actual model numbers of our appliances to the construction people. And we're like, okay, this refrigerator opening in the cabinetry has to be so big, right? Well, they made it. We kind of got off lucky with that. They made it like you couldn't put a piece of paper between the cabinetry and the refrigerator. That's how tight it is. I mean, it is like airtight when you put that thing in there. And I wouldn't have done it like that. I would have said, well, geez, you want like maybe 2 centimeters difference between your cabinetry. So we realized that even though these people are professionals, they can easily make a mistake. And so now when they handed us these final floor plans where we're getting so close to signing off on it, we're going back and double checking everything. We're like remeasuring our kind of target areas. We're using our house here and our house in Hawaii as our targets to estimate, like, would this feel like a comfortable size? And so, but we're remeasuring theirs so that when we sign our name to it, it's like we already double checked that. We didn't say, oh, it's, we told him it should be this size and it should be that size because he's a professional.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
no. So that's a risk thing. If you're doing like risk management on your project, you could say, what would be one of the risks? And I wouldn't normally think one of the risks is your professional would like mismeasure something or make something so tight that you have to really smash, an appliance. And that wouldn't be on the top of my mind, but we know that it happens.
Yeah, especially Philippines, for some reason they are very relaxed with the sizes, with everything, and with the cost of that building. So yeah, for us, we want to make sure that everything it's like correct, all the sizes, and then the cost, because so they are no surprises at the end of the project.
Yeah, again, we know we're probably not going to get through this thing without any terrible surprises, but we are reducing the risk of gigantic mistakes.
Exactly.
So that we can at least get through it and say, okay, we should have done this, but we didn't do that in rare cases. So we're taking more time up front.
Yep. So I think that is pretty much it. I mean, we are going to show you after, I think after we are done with the drawing,
the detailed one, maybe?
The detailed drawing, what kind of a house in design we are going to, the style and everything. But yeah, for now we are, still talking about the sizes and confirming everything if it's done correctly.
Say the next stage is they're going to take about a month to make detailed drawings out of these, like just floor plans. They need to bring in the engineers and do the electrical part of the drawing and the plumbing part of the drawing and all that. So they're going to dive into that. So we don't want to, change our mind at the last minute. They're going to have to remove a bunch of probably wiring or plumbing or structural engineering from the drawing.
And then they will charge us again. And that's going to be a really big amount of money to recharge us again for another changes.
So so it's going to be a month. Once we sign off, when we anticipate within a week or two maximum, we'll be signing off on these. Then they'll delve into the plans. They're going to draw the engineering part of it. They said that's about a month. And then there's a sort of a government approval process. It's different than here in the US, but the government still will look at it and possibly make suggestions. And that's another possibly a month. So we're planning for, after we sign to say start the detailed drawings, basically a 2-month waiting time until we can be done with all the drawings and approvals and start thinking about scheduling the building.
Yay! We cannot wait. We're excited. We are excited to show you guys what the house is going to look like when we're starting building the house. So so let's
get back to work measuring.
Let's get back to work measuring. And anyway, thank you. I just wanna say thank you so much for all of you guys watching our vlog and
it's good to have someone
following us,
someone along on the pathway here. We're just trailblazing our way through this, so we're all along on the same ride.
Yes. So anyways, thank you for watching.
See you next time.
See you next time.